Hello, everybody. It's the weekly chill and chat, and today I have been so lucky to have with me Ripple Effect. Say hello.
Hello.
And I can never pronounce it by the life on my line. Poofy. We have a Poofy.
Hi.
And we have a Deckard Spade. Say hi, Deckard Spade.
Hi, Deckard Spade.
Okay.
I figured you were going to do that.
And as always, the credits to all the artists that makes the vectors and the background are in the information below, together with the information where you can find all these lovely people at their social medias and other stuffies. Recommend to check them out. Some of them even have their own Twitches. Ooh. So, as you guys can probably see, this week we have, or today, we have kind of a D&D RPG type of theme. So I guess that's also the type of questions we will start with.
After doing a final check of your equipment to make sure it's all in working order, you turn towards one wall and you discover it's the fourth wall. No. What do you
do? I ruled investigation.
Doing a perception check. Ooh, 17. That's pretty darn good.
I beeline it for the gazebo. It's safer than the fourth wall.
Ah, nice. So, I would like to ask all of you, even though we have talked about this before, what is your experience before with RPGs, and what is your current ongoing experience with RPG? We can start with our lovely DM, the little sea pony.
I first became familiar with well, I've known about Dungeons and Dragons since I was little because it was a thing back then. I'm an 80s kid. So yeah, Dungeons and Dragons has been around for a long time, but I didn't really start getting interested in it until I started watching the Brony D&D sessions that Dr. Wolf was having on his channel. And I started becoming interested in it, and eventually I've played in several different games, and I've had several different characters. I'm most familiar with fighet, even though I was in a short campaign using Pathfinder. But yeah, I really enjoy doing the tabletops. So yeah.
Okay. Håvard, hello! Kjekt å se deg! La du kunne komme. Håvard is a fellow Norwegian brownie, so sorry for the kicking with English. No, with the Norwegian. Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
And what about the lovely little Poofy, who ironically is the tallest one?
Well, for me, I'm probably the one here with the relatively least experience. Of course, I don't know what anyone's experiences are, but I know I don't have a lot. I mean, it wasn't until last year that I actually played my first ever game, which the majority of it has been with the Fallout Equestria system.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah. Early on last year, I got into my first campaign, and now I'm in. Well, I've got 2 of them, and I've got a few play-by-posts that I run in, and am going to be soon making my very first steps into the oh my goodness, what am I doing role of DMing.
Oh. Well, good luck with that. That's challenging but very giving experience.
Yeah. Particularly fun because I'm trying to work on a house rule to change things up with the FOE system and give it a little bit. Basically, just taking the D10 100 system that they currently use and make a modified D20 dice roll system.
Oh. Interesting.
That'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, best of luck with that. That's gonna be. Looking forward to see how it will be if you share the experience.
Yeah, definitely going to stream it once I get it together.
Nice. So that's another reason for you guys to look up her Twitch, so you can see how that goes. And then we have the fabulous Deckard, or fantastic Fidget. No, Fidget is the one with the blue hair. Sorry. Deckard.
I have Frigid, I have Apple Fritter, and then there's me.
Yeah. All of you, what are you doing?
Well, to be honest, a bunch of different homebrew campaigns. I've played other things with normal systems. So Frigid and Apple Fritter both came from gaming sessions that they didn't last a whole lot long, but they were there, and I just kind of like grew attached to them. So when I started doing videos, I started making stuff with them from the Fallout Equestria system. Aside from that, I've done, let's see, Call of Cthulhu, Palladium Rifts, After the Bomb, Pathfinder, and I've done Dungeons and Dragons 3.0, 3.5, 4, and 5th edition.
Okay.
And yes, I have DM'd, and yes, I am horrible at it.
That's fair. It's not easy.
Yeah, from what I've seen, the big thing about DMing is no matter how much you try and plan out, it's always going to run into one really big obstacle. It's just going to take all your plans and throw them out the window. The players.
That I can derail something hardcore. Ripple, do this.
Wait, what?
Yes, I can certainly attest that you derailed something.
Okay, story time, everybody. Take some of the popcorn that Deckard has in the photo, and let's hear. Hey, Frasier. Hey, Final Sight. Hey, Fidget Man. Thank you so much for joining us. Ooh,
Let's see, which story should I tell?
both. Thank you, Frasier, for hosting.
You tell the funny one.
Aren't all of
Tell
them
the
funny?
what?
I'd
Tell the
hope so.
what, Deckard?
Tell the funny one.
The funny one. Okay. Well, there was one time when we were well, I wasn't officially part of that campaign yet, but I was a spectator at the time. But there was this one session during the Equestrians campaign where the party was I forgot what kind of map they were in, but they were encountering some werewolves, and our ranger was very much an animal lover and just loving what's going on, and our warlock was inwardly jealous because he's a wolf lover. But Deckard ended up rolling. Was it a nat 20 on that animal handling,
yeah.
or was it a really high animal handling?
It was Frigid at the moment.
Yeah.
I was playing him as a character again, and I was playing a paladin, and I was
Yeah.
playing a paladin of freedom, which means you're not necessarily like one of those lawful stiff paladins. You're one of those ones that wants to like show expression and have fun. So my character looked at this werewolf, and I'm like a tanky dragonborn character at this point. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, I want to hug it. So I walked over and I hugged it into submission.
Just like, you're going to love me.
You're going to love me! And Editor, who was playing our warlock, absolutely lost his bananas when he succeeded on that animal handling check and essentially tamed it, because he's the wolf enthusiast.
Ah, so a little bit of jealousy, maybe.
Oh yeah, definitely jealousy.
Oof. So that's oh, Ratvik, hello. So that's how Fidget become the wolf pony, apparently.
Well, he basically did a lot of things in that campaign that people looked at and went, "Why is he doing this?"
What's happening? Ah.
Yeah.
I think by the end of like the halfway mark, he ended up dethroning someone and took over a country.
Why am I not surprised? That's awesome.
So I took a break from that, and then I started playing Apple Fritter.
Yeah, he took a break from it, but the way he did it made almost everyone go bananas. Like Kage in particular, she's the one who plays our ranger. She was upset over what had happened because story-wise, what happened was that Frigid was approaching this sword that was apparently possessed, and he took the sword and wanted to purify the sword, but he didn't tell anybody what was going on, and everyone was like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you taking the sword? You know it's dangerous, and why aren't you telling us what you're going to do with it?"
Because
the reason was he didn't want anybody to be hurt because he knew the sword was ultra evil, and he's like, "I'm going to go purify this. That way they don't have to worry about it. And if I get rid of this artifact, then the guy who's trying to revive himself using this and the other 12 can't, because there's only going to be 11." So we did. It was a big thing that kind of went and hashed itself out over what, at least another 12, 13 sessions, even more.
Yeah. And
But,
that was the point where Deckard had started playing Apple Fritter.
Now, Apple Fritter, like I said, he's been in other games, but Apple Fritter is that childish, but he wants to help his friend's side. Like, he's not a man-child. He's more the... how would you describe it?
Kleptomaniac.
Oh, yeah, that was a part of it. He was playing a monk that was exploring the world, and then he would just run around and he would like pick something up and go, "Oh, this is mine now." And then when people looked at him, there's like, "You got to pay for that." Okay. He wrote down fritter bucks and on like pieces of paper, and he would give it in exchange for like whatever he would take from somebody. And they're like, "That's not real money." It's like, "It's good as real money to me."
Oh boy. That's like the kid who thinks he's a grown-up but he's still a kid, and the grown-ups do it, so of course I can do it too. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, nice. Do you have anything similar happening with you, Poffee?
I guess the question is which character, because even though I've only been going for about, I want to say 9 or so months now, I've got well over a dozen characters, some of which I do not yet have art for.
Well,
I think that's my favorite. I think that's my favorite aspect of the Dungeons and Dragons is the character creation, letting your imagination figure out what race and what class you're gonna be and how you're gonna make this work and
backstory
and yeah, backstory and everything. Oh my gosh, that's my favorite part of. I think that's my favorite part of Dungeons and Dragons is the creating the character and the thought process behind it.
Yeah, I think personally it'd be quicker to go over some of my non FOE characters, since I've got more fewer of those than I do actual FOE based characters. Yeah, because I actually have played a little bit of Pathfinder in the Redhurst thing.
Oh, Heiko, sorry. My bad.
Let's see. For starters, just let me bring up the art I have of her. Is my harpy Jerry?
Oh, Jerry! Yeah, she's adorable. Jerry is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry was from the one with Fiora, right?
Yep.
So open. Sorry, I have to save it and then put it into the program. So sorry, guys, it's gonna take a little bit.
No worries.
So
And the other one that's from that same area are the triplets: Lucy, Gwen, and Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeet?
Yes, her name is Yeet. And their familiar Susu. Jerry is a sorceress because she's pretty much your average harpy, kind of pretty charismatic and all that, but she's only got an int of 6.
So yeah, math and books are not her thing.
Yeah, she's figuratively and literally a bird brain. The triplets, on the other hand, and are a family of gnolls.
Eh? ¿Qué pasa?
No, gnolls. It's kind of a beastman type race.
Okay. I had no idea what that was, so I had to ask.
Most would say they look like hyenas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm getting the picture up. They're just gonna fill out the screen for now, so. There you can, on the picture we have one with, basically one with that is blinking, and the one in the middle, and the one with 2 closed eyes. Would you care to say who's who?
The one on their right-hand side, which is the one that's closest to you, is Yeet. The middle one is Lucy, and the one on their left is Gwen.
Okay. So, what stories do you have with these characters that makes them stand out for you? That are funny.
I'm not would say so much funny, but at least with Jerry, she's ended up in one of the field trips she was on. They ended up coming across a catfolk slave that was being rather brutally treated by their owner, and she ended up, with the help of her friends, purchasing it. So, unfortunately, they couldn't give her complete freedom because of the nature of how she was enslaved in the first place. But from that point to now, basically, her mate Cerulean and the catfolk Lily are now all engaged together. So they went from just complete strangers to being a family.
Aww, that's nice.
And the triplets, they're kind of in the middle of a big one that started from, well, to be perfectly frank, a crit fail followed by a failed reflex save. Because basically, what happened is Lucy was helping one of her friends, a cyborg, android named Skippy, doing some research to help one of the professors. But it turned out terraforming research is a little bit too much, and it ended up just completely frying her brain. So, right. So basically, they had to take her to one of these because they're in an area that's kind of sci-fi. I'm kind of blanking on the name of the place at the moment. But Lucy is in good hands because they've got a master neurologist that's made a clone of her brain and has been transferring all of her knowledge and memories from her old one to her new one. So she's nearly restored, but there's still going to be some therapy that needs to be done to get her fully back to where she was before.
Which is understandable.
Mm-hmm. But it's in the long run going to end up better for them because, well, gnolls in most places are really looked down upon, and this place that they're finding themselves in is actually gone pretty far at making them feel like they're at home. So, yeah, they may have just finally found a new home, especially after being outcast from their original pack, which didn't really care that much for them in the first place. And the little critter that they're holding is their familiar, a pygmy puke named Susu.
No. Oh, we have a question. Noah asks, question for all of you. What is your favorite Disney song and My Little Pony couples? I guess mean like shipping couples? So...
Does it have to be canon, or can things that exist outside the show play into that? Because if that's the case, I have one that I am quite naturally a bit biased towards.
Let's say we do both. So yeah, if you want to start. Poffee?
Well, the one that I'm naturally biased towards that's outside of the canon, well, I can't help but be biased towards it because it's with my boyfriend, whom I actually met through the FOE campaign.
And I think he's referring to like the ponies in the series.
I know, but which is why I asked if things from outside the series, from the fandom, because
I thought you meant like non-canon, like you maybe shipped even though Big Mac has Sugar Bell, you might be shipping him with Cheryl. I thought you meant like that. Sorry.
Yeah, my bad.
No, I should have asked more clearly. My bad.
That was actually going to be my answer, Big Mac and Cheerly.
So, I guess I'll say, if I'm going to talk about the ones that are shipped together, I would put Octavia and DJ Pone 3. I mean, we already do know that they're kind of a couple, but that's the one that I liked.
I thought they were siblings because of how their house was divided.
I don't know. I thought that they were a couple, but if that's...
Well,
that makes it much different.
Yeah, like you don't ship them if they're actually siblings. It's
No,
only if
no.
they are. Okay, good. I don't think anybody here is a fan of incest, so...
Oh, no.
I don't think that was ever clarified if they were siblings or not, but I see them as siblings, personally.
Yeah.
I saw them as a couple. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I know there are people who see them as a couple, and there are people who see them as siblings. I'm just saying that the show never clarified if they are, in fact, related to one another in one way or another.
Yeah, they haven't specified. It's just they're very... I don't know, for... sorry, it's just with the therapy background as well, it's just very clear for me that the way they divided the house and their communication with each other, like there was no significant body language that they were a couple, and if you are together with somebody, you don't line up the house to have one side how you want to and the other side how you want to. That's like you do with your sibling when you're arguing because you have to share a bedroom. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into details since I'm not one of the staff of My Little Pony or anything. Sorry. But so yeah, that's your guys. So Poffee, who is your favorite couple from the series then?
I'm gonna have to say the Apple parents. Pear Butter and Bright Macintosh.
Yeah, that's a sweet one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. It's a close second.
I am maybe a little bit biased myself, but I would say Fluttershy and Discord. Because, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other question was for everybody. What is your favorite Disney song?
That is a very hard one to answer.
That's a tough one.
I would say Be Our Guest from Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mostly for the theatrics also included when you're watching the animated version.
Of course.
Okay, I don't know if musicals count.
Is
but
it a Disney movie?
Huh?
Is it from a Disney movie?
It's from a Disney musical, a musical adaptation of a Disney movie. So that's why I'm not sure if musicals will count. From the musical rendition of Aladdin, there's one song called Proud of Your Boy. It's really beautiful. And basically it was Aladdin lamenting about how he might have disappointed his dead mother because he didn't want to be a thief. He didn't want to steal bread, but you kind of have to in order to survive in Agrabah. But in this song, Aladdin was basically promising his mother that he'll make her proud.
No. Yeah, that sounds nice. Poffee?
Oh, so many to choose from.
Yeah, it's a hard choice.
Oh, I mean,
I need to come back to you?
think in my mind. There's just too many.
I know.
Well, I gotta say, one of my favorite Disney songs is, it's called Life. It's actually from the second Bambi movie. It's just a very subtle song that, like, sings about how the forest is waking up from the slumber of winter and how life is everywhere around you.
Oh yeah, There Is Life. Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah, it's like, I of course have only heard it in Norwegian because I haven't seen it in English yet because I like Norwegian and I need to practice voice acting in Norwegian if I'm gonna be able to do this.
I can't say for certain that it's a definitive top, but one I've always enjoyed was "Go the Distance" from Hercules.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
That's like a good montage one.
Yeah. Channeling your inner Hercules when you need to work on a project. Or similar.
Something like that. At the very least, helping keep you motivated. So, if you feel like things are kind of getting tough, or well, if you're feeling like you're trying to figure out where you belong in the grand scheme of things.
Hmm.
Mm.
Very true, very true. So then I guess I can ask, what are your guys' favorite Disney movies?
Beauty and the Beast. That's a much easier question to answer than favorite song.
I would have to say Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid were my two favorites. It's like kind of one and the other, because I really like the fact that if you were to watch Little Mermaid, like, you have a more fleshed out story, like, and you have a villain that's actually the villain. I mean, Gaston, don't get me wrong, it's fun to watch him flail about, but he's more just part of the mob. So, I mean, either way you go, you still have a fun time watching it.
The thing is, with Gaston, he is one of the things that I think is the clearest villain of all. He is basically a bully.
Oh, he's definitely a bully,
Yeah.
but he's never shown causing a problem. He's self-centered, but he still hunts for the town and he still does other stuff. People admire him for what he does, but he's just completely narcissistic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you have Ursula, and Ursula is, well, she's out to serve herself, but she's able to twist it so well, and it's just horrifying.
Yeah, that's true. She is spooky. Very spooky. That is very true. So we have Beauty and the Beast,
Little Mermaid.
and Poffee.
I'm going to take a shot and say Mulan.
Oh. How so? How so?
I think well, for one of the many things, it's I like how Mulan is. It's not one of those classic chosen one hero stories. It's just someone who wanted to try and help protect a family member, and well, she didn't start off just being automatically good at everything. She was just as awful as ever, and untrained as every other soldier that was in there and had to train to get good.
Take notes, Disney remakes.
Oof.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I waited and have not seen the remake, because I've heard about that, and well, it just seemed to me like with the remake they were just completely missing the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably because of how she started with being relatively weak and having to learn everything to achieve her goals through persistence and just building her skills. Has just made her a lot more relatable than.
Ooh, I'm
as
fantastic.
much as I like Hercules, and he's a very likable. He's just that kind of lovable goof, but he's still got that whole demigod thing. So it's a lot easier for him to be a hero than it is for someone like Mulan.
Yeah, that is very true. It's kind of nice when you have the inheritance of a god. Hi, Wushi. Sorry, person in chat. Hello. So yeah, I really see that one. I am kind of more, well, Pocahontas is my favorite movie. So, it was just nice to see somebody who didn't get superpowers or had to fight with their, had to fight. Somebody who actually were able to stop horrible things just by being the change you want to see in the world. And of course, I really like Native Americans. So, because I thought they always lived way better than, nah. It's kind of weird when I'm saying it out loud, but they kind of live better than most white people. And I'm white myself, so I think I'm allowed to say it. I'm not sure how this social stuff work, okay? I'm still learning. Ah. So,
I think we got a drinking buddy in the chat.
Oh boy. Which Nehru is here? Poffee, the triplets, Harpy Dog, Diamond Dog, which one? All of them.
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and like I said, don't get me started on my veritable stable of FOE characters, because we've got the Bat, we've got the Pinkie Pie Hellhound, we've got the Smolicorn, who spends most of her time as a zebra. We've got the Kieran, who's just recently become a demigod Phoenix Kieran.
Oh.
We've got let's see, we've got the Cyber Zebracorn. We've got the teeny tiny Appaloosan gal, and that's just to name a few.
Yeah, if I'm gonna drag out photos of all of them, I think you just need to send me the folder. I'm just gonna show my screen.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh boy. So I gotta say, have you ever made a character you regret making? Any one of you? Good question, I guess.
There was one time when I was when I had built an artificer character, and she was also a rock gnome. I was playing her for this campaign that was designed to be starting at level 1, and it was supposed to be a relatively easy campaign. However, the dice were really not in the player's favor, and several times we were making so many dex saves and we kept failing them, so that meant that we triggered like dire rats to come attack us. And it got to a point where we had restarted the campaign our third time, where we were allowed to start off as level 3 so that we could get specialties and stuff. But after we had started that campaign and we had gotten into the tower in question, it was filled with kobolds, and I didn't know that kobolds and gnomes were basically like blood enemies. So it turned out that me just being there kind of screwed the party over. And admittedly, even if I had known that, I would still had built the character, but I just felt blindsided. Well, not really blindsided. I didn't get to explore the character as much as I would have wanted to, because we ended up getting a total party kill with that third time, and by that time, most of us were pretty much done with trying this campaign.
Yeah, and I would say that's some bad planning on the DM's part, when it's already something you guys have re-entered to get to play.
Yeah. But it was really more the dice fault than the DM's fault. I mean, the DM was the one who said, do you want to start off as level 3 so that we could try again? And we were like, sure, let's try this again. So the DM was being accommodating. It's just, it was just really poor rolls that ended up happening.
So You guys want to hear what one of my regrettable characters were?
Yeah, I asked everybody.
Bacon Mage.
What?
Hey, what?
Who? What?
Wait, hold your bacon. What?
This was I enjoy playing characters that have some comedic value to them and just people that are fun. I want them to mesh with the party. But there was this one group of people I was playing with, and they wanted to play serious characters while I didn't realize that they wanted to do that. So I had made a mage, half-elven mage. And in this guy's world, half-elves can't grow mustaches or beards. But I envisioned him having, like, the cavalier, like, swashbucklers kind of mustache. So in order to give him this, I said that he made something that was used out of, like, bacon grease and something else to give him, like, a fake glue to put a mustache on his face.
Because it has to have a mustache.
Yes. And then when he walked in, like, he'd be, like, looking to, like, get more of a supply. So I had to role play out getting my equipment and the stuff that was going on. So everybody else went into this tavern to start asking questions about where are we going to get our next job? What are we going to do? And then in comes me, the eccentric-looking, swashbuckler-esque mage with a long sword that he's using as a focus instead of a... what was it? Like, you know how you can have a familiar or you can have a focus?
Yeah.
He had his focus. But I started role-playing and going along with the idea of, all right, well, I'm going to get my stuff, get everything I need to do. And then I got to the point where I'm like, all right, I've got all my normal equipment. Now I got to get the bacon grease. So I had to have a conversation with the tavern owner about getting their excess bacon grease because it's the only place in town that I could get it. So about 10 to 15 minutes later, narrowly making the rolls in order to get this done, the rest of the party looks at me and says, what was that about? And I just look at them and go, nothing. And they're looking at me. Do I smell bacon? Because, yeah. So this character is also slightly crazy because of the way that I made him, because he's an eccentric mage. So he named his sword and started talking to it. Like, not
Did he name it Betsy?
No.
Oh, please.
This was not a frigid character.
I know.
Sure?
I'm just teasing.
But let's see. He had the sword, and he talked to it every so often. He just basically complimented it whenever they did a good job going around, like if they win a battle or if they do something else. So they just look at him, and he's wearing fake mustaches, and he's talking to his sword, and he's going through everything. It's like he has to be completely out of his mind. So then we go through like an adventure or two, and then we manage to get through it okay. And the DM is just sort of like biting his tongue. Just he knows I'm goofing around, but I'm trying to keep it where it's going to not break his brain or cause that much of a problem for the party. So I had hit my next level, which allowed me to take a universal feat, which allowed me to actually strike at things with a distance using my sword. So we were in the middle of this fight, and there's only one goblin left. I managed to look at it. I look at my sword. I call it by its name, which I don't even remember what it is at this point. But I call it by its name and say, go! And then throw the sword, stab the goblin with it, and then they all watch as this sword comes back to my hand.
A port!
And even the DM didn't realize I had this ability, and he looks at me and goes, did your named sword just fly out of your hand to go hit something and come back? And I'm like, yes. And he just looks at me. He's like, all right, your character's a little too out there.
I'm just
like,
I'm sorry.
I'm like, it's in the book. I'm playing by the book. Just something about the personality and the way that the sessions went. Even if it was fun, even if it was something there, the DM obviously was struggling with it, so I had to switch out and do something different.
Aw. You were almost starting to sound like, you know the guy who's whistling and has like that arrow that goes everywhere in Guardian of the Galaxy?
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah. Starting to sound like him. That was kind of awesome.
But yeah, like after we finished that adventure, we kind of just regrouped and made different characters. The Bacon Mage, he was fun to play, but he's got to stay on the shelf. I can't play the Bacon Mage again.
Yeah. Sadly. Nice one. Thank you for sharing. I sadly don't have any exciting or fun stories because well, when I have been playing Tales of Equestria with the Norwegian brownies here in Norway, I have been the DM, so there's been many unusual NPCs. Amongst other, that actually inspired us to call ourselves the Bucket Clan, for reasons, was that I asked one of my friends to voice the Buckets and Bolts salesman in Ponyville. And I can't express in full detail because it's just so epic. He would need it to be here himself. He went all out. He was just like, buckets and bolts and buckets. I sell them all. Buckets, I have buckets for everything. I have buckets for spits. I have buckets for poop. I have buckets for your food. I have buckets for your buckets. And everything. And he just went all out. It was amazing. Like, holy moly. I've never seen anyone live so much into an NPC character in my life.
It reminds me of that one goat character from Hoodwink. I've got horns that open bottles, and I've got horns that hold my keys.
Awesome. But yeah, this guy just went way off, and he did the role perfectly. He did like I asked him and everything, but he made the character so much more than it ever was. So of course, then we started like, yeah, of course, he's a part of the Bucket Clan because he is an old-time warrior, and he's now just all of the other warriors are spread across Equestria because they want to spread the word of the buckets and a whole shebang. And we found out that he was some kind of old knight from the Bucket Clan, like armory, and made like.
Oh, so he's Rusty Bucket.
No, Rusty Buck is actually one of our scouts, but yes, he is one of us. He is. All the helmets are buckets. Yes. So made a whole bunch of OCs, and our Discord group is called the Bucket Clan. So and our Facebook group is called the Bucket Clan and everything. So I have been assigned as the Bucket Goddess, apparently. Some of them have said, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to be Bucket Goddess. No, don't make a cult after me. No, I don't want to do this. But yeah, so we have like a priest. We have a bucket priest that has 2 buckets on his head because it's very important. Only the priest can have 2 buckets. And yeah, like a ranger, a paladin, all the whole shebang. And every one of them has a bucket pun type of name. And I don't have the notes here anymore, but we were planning on getting art and like write a story and the whole thing. But it kind of died down when when Corona Pona came around. So sadly, we will not see any more of Bucket Clan. But it still lives in the name.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's the only weird fun story with odd characters I have, and regrettable possibly because I don't want to be a goddess. I don't want a cult. So please don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, I had somebody tell me that they wanted to make like the Cult of Chris, and I'm just like, no, I don't care if you're joking. No, no, thank you.
So far, haven't had any instances of characters that I really regret creating. So far, every last one of them is just a treasured part of my OC family.
So it's like a big weird family like the Ice Age?
So that's one way of looking at it. I mean, we've even got our own resident Pinkie Pie with the Hellhound Susie Q.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
So let's flip this on its head.
Okay.
What would you say is one of the most, and this doesn't mean your favorite OC, what would you say is one of the most enjoyable adventures you've ever had in a game?
Ooh.
Enjoyable adventures.
I'm going to go last. You guys get to go first.
Considering how a lot of my adventures are still ongoing, that's another toughie for me to really answer.
I think I gotta say my first D&D character. It was a half-elf bard, and she got to go to like this old tavern in the middle of nowhere, where it was like depression had hit the land, and like everybody was sad and stuff, and for some reason bards were outlawed in that land. I don't know why. So me playing a sneaky little half-elf, even though she was taller than everybody else in the party, because for some reason everybody else wanted to be a dwarf or a halfling. So I was like the big odd one. So I was just like, okay, I have been holding in my music, my song, my everything this whole year, like in-game at least. So I don't care, I'm gonna play some songs. And the whole other party of like 5 people was like, no, no, no. And I was just like, I'm doing it. So I basically went up to what was supposed to be the stage, was now more like, okay, here we have the groceries for sale. So I basically started moving around all the grocery and rolled like performance to make it look like, yes, I'm supposed to move this, da-da-da-da-da, don't ignore me. And then I just took out my fiddle and started singing and playing, and for some reason, or I was very lucky with the DM's role, there were no cops in this abandoned bar or tavern. So I managed to actually spread some life and happiness into the people that was in the tavern. And the bartender actually gave me a free beer. So yay. I think that was nice. That's my story. Gyatso?
I'm still thinking about which one should I tell?
If you have a problem choosing between two,
Yeah.
you can then say both.
Okay. Okay. There's one in an ongoing campaign that I'm in where I play a Tabaxi Monk. Now, I basically designed her because one of my favorite animals is a cheetah. So with Tabaxis, you know, they have feline agility. And with monks, you have unarmored movement. And I also gave her the mobile feat, which gives her an extra 10 feet of movement. And she also multi-classed a little bit as a fighter. So she also has action surge. So there was this one time in a setting where we were supposed to take down this corrupt vizier who had just murdered the legitimate ruler of that town, and this vizier was basically taking over this town. I while everyone else was distracting the guards, I, as the Tabaxi Monk, had basically used all of my movement to basically climb this tower, deflecting missiles, because that's one of the features of a monk, like catching arrows and tossing them aside, and climbing up this tower. I get inside, and there are two guards in front of the door where the vizier is basically hiding, and at that point, I just grabbed the heads of both of the guards and knocked them against each other, and they failed on that Constitution saving throw for the stunning strike. It was just, I was just having a lot of fun that particular night. Oh goodness.
That sounds awesome. Sorry for the background noise. I need to have the heater on for a little bit because it's cold down in my basement in Norway. Ugh.
That's fine. And the other story that I'm telling it, and it's more like a character rather than a particular adventure. The first campaign that I participated in was I was playing a halfling bard. And part of her story is that she has this lisp where her L's and her R's tend to sound like W's, and she also has a bit of a high-pitched voice. So whenever she talks, this is what she sounds like.
So is this you're talking about the vending machine story?
Yes. At the end of each quest, the party members get to approach this gumball machine and receive like a magical item that they can use for future quests. After the quest where I officially became part of the party was over, this was my first encounter with this said gumball machine. And she's like this country bumpkin character. She's never seen anything like technology is concerned. So she's completely mystified by this gumball machine. And because she's never seen anything like it before, when the balls start falling down, she's completely mesmerized, and she calls it the twirly whirly. So she's always looking forward to seeing what she gets from the twirly whirly. And the first time I said that, the guy who plays our warlock was completely he completely lost his bananas there. Just oh my gosh. That was fun. And the funny thing was, I had met most of the people in the party in real life for the first time in BronyCon 2019, and I had come up with the idea of calling it the Twirly Whirly while I was at BronyCon, and I even practiced it a little bit, but I did my best to restrain myself from saying it out loud because I didn't want to spoil it in front of the other people, including the person who was playing the warlock.
Yeah, I know the what's it called? I know the feeling of saying other types of words than the real words because you can't think of what they're actually named.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that a lot. That's why a lot of my friends know the words stuffies and boogaloo because I don't know where English word is hard. So.
Well, they liked me doing it because it was cute.
Ah, okay. That's fair. So, Deckard.
Hey, is it my turn? I thought we still have one more person.
I told first. Poffee, did you tell one or did I miss you?
I think
you missed me.
Ah, sorry. Then you're first.
I think the best one I can think of off the top of my head is, well, my triplets. They seem to have a bit of a knack for getting nat ones, so They actually ended up getting a boyfriend in their game out of a series of nat ones.
Oof.
Yeah, had this one dragonborn by the name of Briar who ended up with trying to go and approach a. They were at one of the taverns where this professor seemed to be just kind of out, shall we say? But he ended up tripping, breaking his ankle in the process, and well, also ended up accidentally biting his tongue off because of nat one. So they ended up giving him a Cure Light Wounds potion, helping him out to the Hall of Healing. They patched the guy got patched up. They went back to the bar, and well, they ended up going and deciding to become steady. And at one point, were practicing dancing for the upcoming big dance, to where the girls nat one and ended up breaking their ankle.
Oofta.
Yeah. So
they're clumsy, basically.
They're blood ragers, so normally they're pretty deft. It's just, well, there's a reason why why the triplets are the queens of nat ones.
Oofta.
Oh, we've got Aeon in the chat.
Yes. Hello, Aeon.
Hello.
Thank you for dropping by.
But yeah, that I'm kind of thinking that that's definitely a bit of an irony intentionally put in on the part of the DM, because having the newly minted couple in the space of a few hours get the exact same injury going back to the Hall of Healing. That's something definitely very specific about that.
Oh wait, Hall of Healing? What?
It's an area in Redhurst.
Oh. Wait, Redhurst is a real, like, stuffy wuffy? It's not just what Fiora called hers?
Yeah, there's an actual rule book out there for for Redhurst in Pathfinders.
Oh. The more you know.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know.
Ding-ling-ling-ling.
So, Deckard, what's your story?
Mine is a tale of superheroes and fantasy fighters and saving a world.
Give me a few seconds. I'm getting the stuffy wuffy up on the huffy wuffy.
Give a smaller version of the picture that's involved with it, but I'll go over it once we get that up there.
Yeah, I am gonna do. Potato, where are you working? Yes, no. Yeah,
Potato.
Potato. And now you're not gonna work? That's great. Prince Whatever is now following. Thank you so much. Now I just need to get this stuff working. Ska vi se. I need... is it this one? Yes, I think it's this one. Whee! Because I wanted also to show this adorable art. Hello, Prince Whatever. Thanks for dropping by. We have this adorable art of Poofy's other OC, which is the adorable bat with her dearest boyfriend, Carl. No, what's his OC name again?
His OC is words. His unicorn's name is Lunar Spice.
That was the one. Yes, it's very cute art. Prince, whatever. It's adorable. And then we had the apple fritters. I am kicking you in the face.
I put that up from earlier. That was that's a picture of me taking half the health away from a boss, and on the bottom right, there's a picture of the GM going, "What?
What just happened here?"
Yeah. It's just like, excuse you? You just did that to my boss who I have been preparing for months.
This is what happens when you give a monk the ability to smack things all at once.
Yeah. But yes. So this pew pew photo of a guy in horn helmet.
Well, it's not so much the context for that thing there. It's the character on the left that I want to talk about.
Oh.
You see, I've played a lot of different games, and one of them is Palladium Rifts. It is basically a system which lets you put everything together, from fantasy to high-tech to high magic to anything. The characters I enjoy playing the most are usually the ones who have superpowers.
Of course.
So, the character on the left was from an anthro version of Ponies. His name was Wintergreen. He did not aspire to be a hero at all. He basically wandered around like a hobo playing a guitar, just enjoying himself, but sometimes finding himself in like situations. So kind of like what the picture is here. Stop a bank robbery or trying to deal with whatever's a threat to the city. He's there to help, but he didn't want to actually be one of the costumed heroes.
Thank you for letting me know, drinking buddy.
Whoa.
Yeah, they only saw half the picture.
Yeah, the Discord image is like all over the place. Whoa.
Yeah, sorry.
There it is. So Wintergreen actually ended up trying to track down his mentor, the one who taught him how to use his powers, but kind of just disappeared, which is how he ended up joining the party that he was in. And he ended up on a world where everything was sealed off. Like, they couldn't reach the gods, magic, anything properly. Like, it existed, but you couldn't, like, communicate. And my character finds one of the most powerful mages that exists using a different type of magic, and then disappears for, like, 6 months.
Bye!
I had joined back up with the party. They had actually had an opening back up, and we started the game up again, and my character had finished their training. So not only was he a superhero with the generic powers for like invulnerability, super strength, and flight, he also had the ability to use this crazy magic, but he didn't want to show it off to other people the way that he would do, because it's just his personality. So he got through.
Privacy?
What?
That's true. He wants some privacy. That's fair.
Yeah, and he went with the party to help out. They came across threats where his abilities came in handy, because he could use pretty much any magic if he can simulate it and do it the right way. The problem was...
Wait. That sounds very much like Fidget. Just he needs to have the right clothing.
No, that's a Deckard, you mean. And no, it's not exactly the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Deckard would wear an outfit, and he can just kind of do something that's similar to the person there. My character knew like the basis of arcane magic, and they called it high magic in this campaign.
Oh, okay.
So he could cast high magic, which means he could use any of the arcane spells or anything there if he used it right. But in order to do so, he would also have to use an inane amount of energy to actually do something that would be much smaller than what he's supposed to cast. And it would also come with the risk of blowing up in his face.
Yeah, oofta.
So that happened a couple of times.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he ended up... The thing that made me happy was we started to try and figure out what we needed to do to save the world in order to try and fill the gap for like the lack of the gods and the things that were going on. So our goal was try to become the gods.
Nice.
And everybody else is like coming up with these epiphanies and doing everything that they needed to do in order to like become a god that filled some aspect of a pantheon in order to try and, you know, fill in the role of what the world needed. My character accidentally became a god.
I think Hercules wants to have your name.
Yeah. So he's from an MLP universe. So you already know that it's possible to become an alicorn.
Oh, nice. Sweet baby. No.
He had a high amount of magic at one point, started meditating, and I made a roll.
Oh, nice.
Closed my eyes as a simple earth pony with these powers, and then opened my eyes, and I had a horn in my head and wings on my back.
Just like, great. Now I can't sleep how I want to anymore.
Oh, not only that, but he became the god of high magic.
Ah, convenient.
So that magic that everybody feared that he had the power to use is like, the only reason you're able to do this is because you had your superpowers. The DM looked at me and said, if you didn't have those, you'd probably blow up.
Okay then.
So he fulfilled the roles, managed to stop an apocalypse with everybody else that was in the party, just managed to contain whatever the threat was, and became a part of the pantheon of what was there, and ended on a high note. So that in itself just was one of the most fun things I was able to do. Mostly because I got to explore a bunch of different things and play a character that was powerful, but also not necessarily the most powerful character in the campaign. Because there were plenty of times where I just got swatted away sideways, and it was just hilarious.
Do tell.
Well, let's see. Fighting against something that's about 30 stories tall, regardless of superpowers, you're going to get smacked, and you're going to go flying off a mile or two. One of those world-ending characters that we had to stop was basically showing up as a massive creature of some sort that we had to fight. So everybody had to kind of climb and rush and try to like get to where it was so that they could face it and, you know, up close. Yeah. And my character tried to get up close and got there too fast with no backup. Oops. And then got swatted away.
Oh, oído. Yeah. Was this after or before he got his wings?
Before he got his wings.
Okay, how did he end up getting there faster than the others then?
Still had the power of flight as one of his superpowers.
Ah, okay.
So he got there, but he just couldn't handle it on his own. Like, regardless of how powerful a person is, like, I've learned this as playing anything with superpowers. If you can't beat it and, like, you know, knock it unconscious or slay it or whatever you need to do, there's always a way to detain it. So someone who has invulnerability and super strength, all you need to do is, you know, bury them in more than they can lift, or throw them far enough away that they can't get back into the fight right off the bat.
Now I'm just imagining somebody burying someone in Twinkies. I don't know why. My
so
is weird.
Another thing is space travel with superpowers.
Oh.
You need to breathe.
Yes, I would imagine.
I had my character's helmet shot off while he was in the middle of space. Had to hold his breath and then get back to the ship as fast as he could.
Yeah, oof. That's one of the reasons I don't want to go to space. It's so little things have to go wrong for you to die in a few seconds. Or
again, one of those moments where the superpowers came in handy, but also didn't do much good.
Yeah. Oof.
I came back in just in time to hear you need to breathe. What did I miss?
Oh boy.
I was talking about some of the things that have happened. Even if you're playing a character that has superpowers, there's always a way to stop that kind of character. I had mentioned him getting swatted away from a fight at one point. Like, he just got backhanded by a giant monster and thrown like 2 miles away. And then there was another time where I'm in space and something shot off my helmet and I still needed to breathe, so I had to hold my breath and then make it back to the ship. So there's things that you have to keep into consideration, because even if a character seems powerful, like if you're fighting something that powerful, it doesn't mean that there's no hope. And on the flip side, if you are playing something that is powerful, you shouldn't get so cocky that you think that you're going to be able to get through the whole fight yourself.
Yeah, that's fair. But I gotta ask, who drew this? This is like heavily detailed, and yeah,
I commissioned it a while ago. I'm trying to remember who the artist is.
This is why you always save the art as the name of the artist. So that
yeah, and they sent it to me as a Tumblr image with a bunch of numbers.
Ah, okay.
Is there a signature on there?
I can't see anything. Unless it's this. I don't think it is the RAM from Dealville Plus. No, I don't think it's that. It's like if they had been like separate corner. No, I don't think it's that.
No, and that bothers me a little bit. I thought there was a signature on this piece.
Yeah.
Like, but the artist is somebody that's done a lot of good art. Let me see if I have another one, because I commissioned more than one thing from them.
It's just I really like. I know the pony faces are really hard to do in a good way when they become antro. So that's also one of the reasons why I was impressed.
Keelink.
Hmm?
The artist's name was Keilink. So it's either Krylink or Keelink.
Okay, thank you.
Trust me, I always want to give credit to the artist as well. It's just I didn't realize this didn't have a signature to it.
Okay. And begun. Thank you.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing Wintergreen, but at the same time, I don't think I'd be able to play as Wintergreen again, because he kind of topped off at that point.
Yeah, can see that. When it comes to characters kind of becoming OP, I think the only thing was when I actually played Cleric for Freya in an RPG, in Dungeons and Dragons. And I think I was level 19 or something, and it was just like the whole group was getting bored because everything was too easy, except for when we had like crit fails. So, but it was nice. It was able to RP a little bit of my spiritual side, so that was fun. Any one of you having any experience with characters turning OP?
I don't know about OP, but this halfling bard that I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
There was one boss where we were facing against a black dragonborn, and basically how the fight ended was he got into the single digits and it was my turn. So what I did was that I used I think it was a second level spell slot or a third level, I don't remember which, and I used sleep on him and basically knocked him out.
Yay.
And everyone else kind of tied him up after that.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
it kind of stunned the DM a little bit, where to the point where in the next session where he was doing the recap, he said, so in the last session, the party had finally defeated this particular this particular guy, and I said, I put him to sleep, and he said, yes, you did. Shut up.
So grumpy.
Just kind of smirking, as I could hear the smirk as he said that, like he was proud of me, but at the same time he was a little disappointed that his boss went down like plop.
Like that. Yeah. Know also that people in chat are free to ask us questions if they're wondering about anything. If they are. So all of you are pony fans. May I ask how you got into the My Little Pony fandom from the start? Like, are you G1 fan or are you only G4 fan?
I was familiar with G1 a little bit. I did see a few G1 episodes because, again, I'm an 80s child.
Woo!
I didn't watch too many of them, but I was at least aware of them back then. I actually didn't start getting into ponies until I happened to watch Magical Mystery Cure by accident. I was intending to watch something else on YouTube, and I ended up misclicking and getting into Magical Mystery Cure.
Okay. So that Mystery Cure, that was what season?
That's the
was
one where the cutie marks got switched up and Twilight became an alicorn.
Oh yeah, that's season 4?
Season 3.
Season 3.
Season
Okay.
3 finale.
My bad. Okay. So what about Deckard?
For me, I actually, when I was younger, I remember watching the movie involving the Schmooze.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So that was Gen 1, I think.
That is
and
Gen 1, yes.
now I didn't really follow the series after that. But afterwards, I started with the first episode. I had a couple of friends who were watching it.
Yeah.
Some of them were rolling their eyes, and a few of them were like, "Oh, this is fun." And it was around then that I realized that I actually did enjoy certain things with animation, and that a lot of things can be created for everybody as an audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically watched the show for a while, and then eventually I started getting vectors and other stuff and starting to experiment with movie making with it and started reviewing. And yeah, I mean, we're here now. So.
And that's how Equestria was made.
Yeah.
Next time, I'm going to tell you about how I got my cutie mark. It's a gem. No, Pinkie Pie, it's balloons. No? Nobody got that? Okay.
What?
Me. Okay, Poffee.
G4 is my start.
So when in G4 did you enter?
About midway through season 3.
Oh, okay.
I had started hearing about on the internet about the whole that bronies were a thing, and curiosity got to me. I started watching the first episode. It was a cliffhanger. I had to watch the second episode. And it seemed pretty good. I watched the third, watched the fourth, and by the time we got to the Pinkie Pie Smile song, I realized, oh crap, I'm in it deep.
Woo! Hello, Sapphire Glitter. I am an old timer. I am the G1. I was well, my age tells you that I am born 1993. So the way I was introduced to G1 was my aunt, who lived in Houston, Texas, brought home some VHS. Thank you. Brought home some of those. That was My Little Pony Generation 1, and told me that, oh, you have to watch this. All the girls over where I am watch this. And I was just like, okay. I hadn't watched much TV when I was like 4. So I was just like, yeah, I get to watch on the television, like, instead of going out and play with whatever I used to play with. So the one thing my aunt hadn't considered was that the VHS was only in English. So I was basically watching ponies running around talking a language I didn't understand. But I still liked it. So luckily we were able to find something in, what's it called? It's called Norwegian, darling. We found something in Norwegian later that I was able to watch, and I fell absolutely in love. It was something that very much resembled Care Bears, but at the same time wasn't afraid to make things serious without putting everything into feelings. So even though I adore Care Bears and they are still very close to my heart, it wasn't refreshing to see that type of view on the life we have nowadays, except with ponies and dragons and stuff. So it got me hooked then. But then I saw Gen 2 coming around and I was just like, nope. And then I was like, okay, Generation 3, how do you look? I saw one picture frame and I went, nope, we do not talk about this. This does not exist. So when Generation 4 came around, I was skeptical, to be honest.
Yeah, that was the same thing with me. I had heard about Generation 4, but I was skeptical because at that time, this was during a time where TV shows were remaking cartoons out the wazoo. And so at first, when I first heard about My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, I'm like, oh, great. Another cartoon remake out the wazoo. So at first I wasn't interested when I first heard about it. Because, like I said, watching Magical Mystery Cure was an accident for me.
Oofta. Yeah. But yeah, I think I waited until start of season 2 before I was like, okay, it's getting a second season. Yeah, fine, I'll take a look. Basically. And I adored it. It's just like the animation was something totally different. The characters were actually characters. It wasn't just, oh no, where's my diary? And
yeah.
Bon Bon lost her diary. That's a whole episode.
And don't get me started on the horror show that is 3.5.
We do not talk about 3.5. 3.5 does not exist.
Rainbow Dash always dresses in style.
No!
Deckard!
No, go away. Shoo. Oh boy. Yeah, but I was hooked pretty easily, but I didn't know about brownies before about 2 years later when I discovered that there was a Norwegian group of brownies, and they told me, yeah, brownies are something that are everywhere in every country. They're like these things called conventions, and I was just like, what? There's more of us? But of course, I had seen people on YouTube being fan of ponies and doing stuff like Lightning Bliss and Silver Quill. And just like, but at that time I was also just like, yeah, this is probably somebody from the like the makers of My Little Pony that has hired these guys to, like, I don't know, do this type of stuff. But I of course learned later that that was not the truth. These are actually just people, normal people that are fan of this, and it's I was astonished. I was amazed, like, this type of thing is something people can do for fun, and it actually turns into work. It's not the other way around. So very happy about that. But we also got a question from Drinking Buddy. So how many of you have a miniature of your OCs that includes plushies?
I have a plushie.
I have one too.
Plushie.
That's actually an interesting story about my plushie. I had wanted a plushie, and at the time, the only plushie maker I was aware of was Kia Shone, who makes plushies for Lightning Bliss, especially the miniature plushies that she sometimes sells at conventions.
Aw.
So I originally wanted to order a plushie from Kiyashone, but she said that she couldn't make my wheelchair cart, which is an essential part of my OC's character. So I said, okay, well, do you know someone who might be able to make the wheelchair cart? So she said, I'll direct you to this particular plushie maker, and you can get in contact with him, and we'll see what he can do. Turns out that this guy, and his DeviantArt name is Adam L. Humphreys. I'll link it to you a little bit later.
I heard just Pomfrey. I'm sorry. I'm
Adam
hungry now.
L. Humphreys.
I heard Pomfrey. Sorry. Like French fries. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It turns out that he had like old frames from solar panels that he never put together, and some wheels from an old cart that his dad had disassembled. And it turns out that he had exactly the right materials that that he needed in order to make the cart, and he was also a good plushie maker. So he said, "Yeah, I can do this for you." It just so happened that we were able to get that commission done before I attended BronyCon the first time, which was BronyCon 2017. So the timing was just impeccably perfect.
Yeah.
He had everything that he needed at the right time, and he was at the right place, and it's like it was meant to be.
Yeah. That's nice. That's nice when that happens. And I'm just gonna say to Drinking Buddy, thank you very much for considering that, but I need to finalize my OC's design before I can get a plushie. And since I am one of those people who are very, like, I need to have my plushie, I need to have my OC, like, the plushie needs to be like my OC, so I'm sadly one of those who are very picky, so I'm gonna commission my own plushie from Me Plushie You from Germany, because I know she does extremely good work with canon-like plushies. I already have another plushie from her, which is a character I voiced that is called Rosalia from Pony Wolf's Productions. But thank you very much. That's very kind of you. So I don't.
There's the there's the link to the plushie that this guy made for me.
Ah, nice. You can actually post that in chat if you want to.
Okay, just a second. Boop.
There you go.
We go.
So people can take a look at that if they want to.
Yeah.
So, Decker or Poffee?
I do have one. It's not of Deckard, because Deckard has way too many outfits, and I am never going to be able to figure that out. I have one of the first version of Frigid. Kind of smaller on the size end. It's probably something that you can hold in one hand without a problem. The whole thing is basically just him. I carried him around during one of the BronyCons that I walked around in. And I made posts on my Twitter as if he was talking as the human was carrying him around in his bag.
That's adorable. I approve. I much approve. Yes. Poffee? Do you have any miniatures or plushies of any of your OCs?
Yep, I've got a Poffee plushie.
You got a Poffee plushie. Oh my gosh! And you have not shown me the Poffee plushie.
Hold on, let me get some light in here and take a pic. I'll share it real quick.
Betrayal of highest regards. You have not shown me the Poffee plushie. I am sad now.
Hi, Faith Star.
Hang on, I'll get a photo to you.
You have not shown me the cute. I feel betrayed. Yes, very much. Must always show the plushies. Plushies are monetary show to people, show to friends. Yes.
Mandatory?
Mm-hmm. If you
Okay.
have a plushie, you need
you
to
said
send them
you said monetary, so I'm like, okay.
Oof, I don't know what that means. So sorry. Boy, I need to go to
Monetary
bed.
basically means that you pay for it.
Well, you should pay for your plushie as well, but
Yeah, I paid like I paid like $240 for my plushie.
Nice. I would say that's a decent price.
Yeah, especially considering how complex a character it is.
Yeah, with all the extra thingies, thuggies.
The tail and the wheels. Yeah.
Yeah, the main is at least fairly normal. Oh, he looks so grumpy. Aww. Oh, he looks so grumpy, so cute.
I want to boop. I want to boop. Maybe I'll make him smile.
Oh no, he's still gonna be grump.
He's gonna be the grumpy one. Let's see. He's so grumpy. Who's a grumpy pony? Who's a grumpy pony?
Who is you as Deckard Spade?
But still, you can see it's good work with the ears, the face, the mane. The clothing, can you take off the clothing or is it sewed on?
The clothing isn't like sewn on, but it's really tight. I'm kind of afraid to take any of it off to show the other parts.
Yeah, okay.
Because like it does have his cutie mark and the other stuff on there, but when they put everything on there, they just basically squeezed it on as tight as they could.
Oofta. Yeah, okay. Better to just keep it on then.
Yup.
Huh. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever seen Frigid's cutie mark.
It's 3 snowflakes.
Special
Because
snowflake?
he's a special snowflake.
Times 3. Nice. I didn't know what I expected, but I'm pleased. Oh. Sapphire Glitter says it is looking like Shining Armor and DJ Pony vibe.
I can see the shining armor.
Hey. Well, I gotta say, Drinking Buddy, your mini ponies models do look adorable, so you don't have to worry about that.
Aww.
And there you go.
Oh my gosh, she's so precious! Oh my god, I like her, okay? She's adorable. What can I say? I like plushies. I always liked plushies. You should have seen my room as a kid. I didn't have Barbie or anything like that. I had plushies.
Same here.
So she is going up on the street.
I've thought about commissioning somebody for like a figurine version of either Frigid or of Deckard, but again, Deckard I'm never going to figure out an outfit for. So maybe Fritter. Fritter's like that kind of character, which I can see him chasing a butterfly and also, you know, firing multiple pistols at abominations, but probably chase the butterfly.
Yes, like if he has to choose, he takes the butterfly. Yeah. Who made that Poffee plushie?
If I recall correctly, it was Cassie's plush.
Oh, okay.
I'll see if I can bring up their Twitter and drop it.
Yes, please. Yeah, that's adorable. Oh my gosh. Oh, time is flying. We have been going on for 1 hour and 42 minutes.
And we've been talking just as much about ponies and Disney as we have been about Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop.
Yeah, that is true. Well, yes, Sapphire Glitter. That is very true. People do get anxiety relief and stress relief by sleeping with plushies or a lot of pillows. Because also a lot of people are sadly lonely, and when they don't have a person to cuddle up to, they need something else for comfort. But that's also one of the things that Vavid blankets can also be a great help. And as Drinking Buddy says, it's no shame in it. It's just good to be able to take care of yourself.
I would sleep with mine, except the wheelchair cart has a lot of metal parts, so that would not be comfortable.
Can't you do it without the cart?
I can, but then there's the risk I might misplace it.
Even if you have it like right next to your, like on your sleeping table, stuffy.
I don't have a bedside table.
Ah, okay. Get a bedside table if you have room.
I don't think I have the room for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I pretty much try to save plushies I sleep with ones that are more pillow-like, because I am a bit of a notoriously restless sleeper, and I'm afraid of, if I fall asleep with a plushie that I really like, that I'd wake up finding that I had done things that I... Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not a restless one, but I'm what we call a crawler. I basically climb upwards the bed, so I often end up out of my bed or on, like, hugging the wall, basically.
How do you do that?
I am not sure, but like I said, I'm apparently a crawler or a climber, so yeah. Sapphire, Chris brand IKEA bedside tables. No, I'm not sponsored by IKEA, even though they are my neighbors. Oh boy. Drinking Buddy also says he has a dozen plushies right now, but none of them which are his OC or Sakura. Sad face. Yeah. Sakura is my favorite character in My Little Pony. So
She's one of my favorites too.
Final side, don't you dare start with Amazon. No. I do not want Amazon, and I do not want IKEA. No. No, no, no. Sorry. Last thing when he was here, they started talking about, yes, Chris should be sponsored by Amazon, and Final Sight made pictures of my OC with like the caps or my cutie mark being Amazon and the whole shebang. And I was just like, no, thank you. No, thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, I was just saying, I've been trying to find a good Sakura plushie, but those seem to be pretty hard to come by.
Yeah, they get quite expensive because of all their stripes.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have one from Hipster Owl. She made a Sakura plushie 2018. Which I was able to get my hoofs on, which I was very happy about, because Sakura, me. So, also I have, I also would love to have, like, you know the Apocalypse episodes with Twilight traveling back in time while she's fighting Starlight? Where you see Sakura being, like, the leader of the Resilience?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would like that as a plushie as well. That would have been so cool, like with all the potions and the giant hair and that stuff. So I already have a Sakura plushie, but thank you very much, Drinking Buddy.
Sakura's best Zeeb.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
And she's currently only Zeeb.
Well, if you remember that season 10 started in the comics, which are supposed to be actually canon, but
Yep.
they just in the comics because they're not gonna make episodes anymore. You actually get to see Sakura's homeland, which I was so happy about. It was just like, oh my gosh, yes, finally! Wow.
Definitely. I've read through the first 2 issues. Need to see need to get my hands on the third, but I've definitely been enjoying seeing the Zebralands and the canon Zebralands, I should say.
Yeah, and you get to see a lot of other juicy world building information, but I'm not going to spoil anything because it's amazing. I guess the only thing is that the reason why Sakura left, for me, didn't fit her character as far as we have seen her up until now. That's the only thing I didn't like. Like, I thought it would be a more legit reason than what was given in the comics. But that might just be my opinion. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, you need to go and get those comics, or you can see if there are any of them on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you can, please support the official release.
Yeah, because that's how we get more.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can ask you guys, what are your guys' favorite character in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic?
Applejack. Fight me.
I'm not gonna fight you. She is very awesome.
I'm not fighting
She
with
is
you.
awesome.
Here's Applejack.
So we have 2 Applejacks and 2 Sakuras. Nice. Or wasn't it Sakura for you?
Best Zeeb for sure.
Yeah, but
Best Kieran is Autumn Blaze.
Autumn Blaze?
Sounds of Silence.
In a later episode.
Cause rainbows won't light up the sky.
Oh yeah, the
unless you
Kieran!
let it
Thank
rain.
you.
Yeah.
There it goes. I'm just like, Autumn Blaze. I don't remember a pony named Autumn Blaze. Hey, Archer Lockhart, thank you so much for following.
Well, I think you wouldn't, since it wasn't a pony that had that name. Kind of wish we got more of the Kierans, because I just enjoy them so darn much.
Yeah, and I really liked the Queen. She was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But she really had a surprising voice. I don't know, but I expected something more similar to like Celestia and Luna. Not what we got, even though it was a positive surprise, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting voice choice.
Yeah, hoping we get to see more of the Kieran in season 10 as it goes along.
That would have been very nice. Is there anything you guys are looking forward to in season 10? Oh, thank you.
I don't really read comics, so
maybe take it up.
I'm happy that comics are out, but at the same time, I don't read comics. So
does it help that in Sakura's Homeland comics, Applejack is the main character that travels with her?
It would help.
And Rappuff and Berry Pop Twist.
Tempest, aka Fizzle Pop Berry Twist. Whichever is easier to say.
So, Viking Pony is always a plus. Hoost, I might be biased. Maybe. Hoost. So what about you, Decker? Is there anything you want to see from season 10 in the comics?
Actually, haven't kept up with the comic stuff. The most I can say is I've seen like bits and pieces and some of the preview stuff from it. I'm aware that Zora's checking out her own homeland with her old friends. I'm just kind of curious to see what happens eventually with that, because I'm still a little confused as to some of the previews showing things like the Tree of Harmony.
Yeah, I'm more like, is there anything you would want to see in season 10?
Oh yeah, more zebras coming back to Ponyville.
Yes, they're going to take over Ponyville. So yeah, I'm gonna be interesting to see what most people think about the royalties over there. That's gonna be interesting. Ska vi se. Okay, we have 7 minutes left of this stream. Is there anything else you guys wanna? Well, we know the end is near.
I think I only have one more thing to say.
Yep.
Horse noises.
Of course.
Horse noises.
Horse noises. I wanted to ask you guys, even though 2020 was a challenging year, and hopefully this year is gonna be better, people still do like New Year's practices or New Year's resolutions. Do you guys have any of those?
Not really.
Probably lose a little bit of weight, but we all know how that resolution usually goes.
Poffee?
I think not much outside the usual. Just try to face each day and try to make each day a little bit better than the last, and to be a bit better than you were the day before.
Mm-hmm. That's actually one of my personal mottos that I tell myself every New Year's Day. Be a better person today than you were yesterday, and be a better person this year than you were last year.
That sounds nice. Yeah, New Year practice I have is basically trying to keep up the, I wouldn't call it exactly training, because it's mostly just like stretching and small movements, because I have a hurt back and I need to keep up with those movements to keep the body in line, as they say.
So it's yoga?
No, it's not yoga precisely. It's more, I think it's called Qigong. It's a more relaxed version where you're more focusing on the energy in your body. And at the same time also stretching out muscles you usually don't stretch out and stuff. But yoga is very good too. I can recommend that for people as well. It's not what I do. So, if you guys can say one positive thing about last year, what would that be? Like, do you have any good memories, big or small?
I'd say, and I've mentioned it before, but the best thing to come out of this year for me has been meeting my boyfriend.
Aww.
It's something that prior to it happening, I never even dreamed would be possible. But it's happened, and sometimes it still feels a little too good to be true, but it is.
That's nice. Oh, we got the cops. Who stole the liquid?
Not me.
Decker? Decker? Hello?
Deckard.
Did we
He
lose
bolted. It's him.
Yeah! Get him! I don't...
My niece was born in February this year, so that was something positive that came out of this year.
Aw, that's nice. Oh, he's back. Did you hide
Sorry.
the liquid?
What was that?
Did you hide the liquid?
We heard sirens earlier.
Where did you hear sirens?
We heard sirens, but it wasn't from me. We thought maybe it was from your end.
I'm on push to talk, so I don't know where that came from.
Poofy, you're the one who stole the liquid. Poofy's being sus. Poofy's being sus.
Emergency meeting! We have to eject them!
Sorry, I had a quick phone call, but yeah. Let's see. 2020 was a mixed bag, but I'd say at least being able to spend some time with my family in a safe way. I was able to actually talk to them, whether it was like FaceTiming or doing something else. We still managed to stay connected. So that being connected was a good part of 2020.
Okay. So, well, I was able to get a lot of new friendships this year, and I also got a lot of new voice jobs. That was really interesting. But one thing was a mixed bag. I ended up in the hospital in February, right before my birthday, with some really bad kidney stones.
Oh.
Yeah, so that basically told me that after my 25 years of drinking Coca-Cola, I now have to stop. And I can't drink that anymore. Basically for my own health. And to be honest, by stopping drinking Coca-Cola, it changed a lot of my taste bumps. So now I don't like I never liked meat taste, but I also now don't like fast food or many of the other things. So I eat a lot better now than I ever did before. Because to be honest, that like vegan food have always tasted better for me, but now they actually taste even better. And I don't want fast food, I want proper food. So I think that's a good thing, even though it started with something bad. And drinking butter, you don't have to look for a plushie for me. Thank you very much. But to be honest, I would just be happy if I get to see you and the others at some con this year or next year, if that happens. I don't need items. I rather want to have memories with friends. But thank you very much. To be honest, if you really want to do something to make me happy, you can donate to charity, because that makes me really happy, especially if it is for animals. But thank you very much. I greatly appreciate your generosity. So that's the thing I can ask. If anybody wanted to do something nice for you, what would that be?
Something nice for me. That's actually a hard one. Drinky Buddy says too late.
Just like, unless he has already paid for it, I don't know how it can be too late. If he found the plushie that quickly, I'm impressed. But yeah, I think we're gonna raid somebody. Ooh, Fia is starting. Let's raid Fiora with a hashtag. What shall we do as hashtag?
Hashtag horse noises.
Okay. Horse noises. You got it. That's the hashtag. Remember to put that in chat when we enter. But Deckard, Poffee, do you guys have anything you know that will make you happy that people could do? Like fan art or just a nice message in the morning?
Just spend time with your friends and try to have fun with them.
Yeah.
I'd say that's.
I mean, fan art is nice, but then I've had some negative experiences related to not fan art in particular, but the artist. So, but I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah, we don't have time for that now.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd say Frigid would appreciate it if you bought him an ice cream cake.
Okay. And we hit Fiora. Hashtag away. I'm sure. I'm just gonna make sure that the Stuffy Wuffy is